Yep. All right. You want to read it?
I can.
I got you. 1 second. All right, just act like the past 45 seconds didn't happen. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another CRL Saturday. We are here, and it is a great morning here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I almost said Pennsylvania. I've not been here long enough, apparently. So, welcome back, everyone. We got ourselves another set of CRL matches. It's probably going to be another long day, and man, this is a big weekend for Southern Miss Coca-Cola. They need these CRL points.
Yes, they did end up making winners finals last week, losing to Northwood 0-3, and then making losers finals, and then losing to they lost to Ball State in winners finals, and then lost to Northwood in losers finals. But hey, they got a point on the board that should have given them the push that they needed to kind of, maybe beat out some of these teams that keep beating them. Now, we went over the bracket. Would you like to go over that a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are seeing, at least in the top teams category for their bracket, we're seeing a lot of very similar teams to what we saw with last week, and that being Northwood, Ball State, of course, again, being in the bracket here with Southern Miss. Southern Miss probably third, fourth best team in this bracket. You also have the addition of Fisher Navy now, alongside Mizzou, Davenport Red, Nichols, Michigan State, all colleges that are worth mentioning here for this third CRL Open. And I'm getting a little concerned. I do see 8 minutes on the timer so far, and Southern Miss is not checked in. And if that actually, I think I keep saying 15. I'm used to. Never mind, they just checked in. So I'm just talking at this point to talk. But that was a bit concerning for a second. I've never seen them wait that long. That, and we can both also see the game, and they're not online, so it just threw us off a little bit. But yeah, Northwood and Ball State, biggest teams in this bracket. Like we mentioned, they lost last week to both of those teams 0-3. They didn't take a single game off of either of them, so that is going to be worth looking out for as we get further into it. First off, though, Southern Miss needs to take care of business in the early rounds. Most of these early rounds, as you've seen, they're not super close. They're not really designed to be that close looking at the teams that they're playing against, but you always have to make sure you're still taking care of it regardless.
Yeah, and from what I looked at, it should be a little easy. No recognizable names that I saw, but at the end of their side, they will end up having to face Fisher Navy for a chance of getting to those winners finals.
Just a chance, by the way, not even guarantee it.
But we will see how the boys have been looking good. They looked good last week. We saw a little bit of what they could do in those early rounds, especially beating out Ole Miss, who I'm pretty sure is the number 15 seeded team right now. But
I think they're number 11.
Are they number 11?
I don't know. These rankings are everywhere, man.
Yeah, but they did end up beating Ole Miss last week, which is an upset for Ole Miss. But, they definitely have what it takes to beat out these massive teams that are above them in power ranking. But it depends on how they want to play it and how they have been playing it.
So you talked about rankings a little bit, and that's something I want to bring into this. There's a new poll from colleague GG. I know it's a little contested. I saw the comments. There's a lot more than you would normally see on a CRL style rankings, but I've noticed every collegiate ranking is just impossible. But regardless, we're just going to mention them either way. You're going to have in this bracket, the ones that will pertain to USM today, you're going to have number 3 Northwood again, number 4 Fisher Navy, number 7 Ball State, and number 22 Mizzou. There are a few other teams, but that's number 29 Michigan State, number 38 Davenport Red, and number 36 Nichols College. Those three, not as big of names. They're still obviously worth noting. If you're in the top 50, you're in the top 50. There's 530 teams in Collegiate Rocket League. So,
yeah,
it does mean something to be in that top 50. But in terms of CRL, you're looking at top 8, top 12. That's really what you want to look out for.
Yeah, and it's very interesting to see that we actually dropped a ranking from the last power ranking,
yes,
even though we did beat Ole Miss, but then again, as we discussed earlier, Northwood did lose to, was it UTC?
UTK.
UTK.
Yeah, and UTK is like 30th, I think, right now, and they beat Northwood. I mean, number 2, I think, team right now, number 3. So, yeah, the rankings are, and it's tough because you also have to consider NACE, ECAC, and ECC, all of them all at once, and I just don't envy people that do these power rankings like for any title except for like Halo, because like Halo there's only one league, and like literally every other title there's like 20. So like it's not an easy job, and I respect the people that do it, even if, to be honest, the rankings are like not good. Even if they aren't, like, it doesn't matter. Like it's crazy that they even managed to get that type of stuff out. Now we do have the game hopefully here in just a little bit. It will be Southern Miss taking on Utah Valley Black. I don't know if that's their main team or if that's their second team. Regardless, though, I would imagine USM going to take this one in a 2-0. And if you do follow the CRL style, at least for this semester, you're going to have best of 3s all throughout winners and losers bracket until you hit losers final, winners final. When you hit those 2 matches, they then become best of 5s rather than best of 3. And that will, the winners final, losers final determines who makes Sunday, which that leads into our CRL points discussion, which we took a look at the graphic earlier today. We have both kind of understood what the goal here is for the team here at Southern Miss. And yeah, you did just point out Southern Miss Gold is also playing in this bracket today, and they actually just ended up 2-0ing Texas Tech Gold. Wow, 2 very different places. I was reading it as TMU, not TTU. Yeah. Texas Tech Gold. They will win 2-0 over them, and now they're playing Mizzou. That's it's a bit of a jarring change.
It is a jarring change. They went from 2-0ing Texas Tech, and they're more than likely, Mizzou is up there on the power rankings a little bit.
Yeah, they're number 22. They're right under Southern Miss.
Yeah, so that gold team is in for a bit of a fight against Mizzou, but hey, and I'm pretty sure that we're about to get in the match. It looks like we did join the
We
lobby.
do at least have the lobby with a few players in, but I am seeing a little desolation in the actual lobby itself. So we'll get into the game here soon enough. But I do want to talk about the CRL standings, at least where we're currently at. Only the top 8 point scorers will make playoffs. And that's really worth noting because there's only, I think, like 8 or 9 teams that even have more than a single point. And I'll list those off. Concord is currently in first. They have 22. Now they're power ranked into number 1 because they ended up winning last week's Open. And I think in week 1, they ended up placing like 3rd, 4th, or something like that. So like they have had an incredible season. They kind of came out of, I don't want to say came out of nowhere because they didn't come out of nowhere, but at the same time, they were not necessarily considered at the start of the season, oh, this will be the best team.
Yeah.
You were looking at Maryville and Northwood, maybe even a Harrisburg, and saying like, yeah, these are your guys. Like Concord was in that conversation, but they weren't like, oh yeah, they're going to beat these teams. And now they've done just that. They went out last week, won the Open. The week before, they go out, get top, I think 4, top 6, something like that. Now they sit ahead of the standings. They're sitting at 22. You have Maryville at 2nd with 17. Right behind them is, of course, Northwood at 16. Those top 3 right there, I almost guarantee they're going to make playoffs. I mean, and if they make Sunday at all at this point, I'm pretty sure that's like a guarantee at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably already guaranteed playoffs because I don't think they would have to not make these next 2 Sundays.
And even then, like you could see a lot of teams that wouldn't normally be in Sunday get points, and like it wouldn't even matter because especially like Concord, you're already at 22. Maryville, you're at 17. Northwood 16. Like you're pretty well off. When you start getting to the bubble, you're looking at St. Clair, Green, and West Virginia both sitting at 13 apiece. Now St. Clair took 2nd place last week. They end up losing to Concord in that Open final. Now that's a series I would want to see ran back. I think it went to both best of 7s like the first weeks did, and I would love to see that series again. It's just a really interesting final. I don't even know how it ended up that way. I didn't really get a clean look at all of the bracket, but still. West Virginia, another team that kind of surprises me. Not that I wouldn't expect them to win. It just, I didn't expect them to be sitting right now in a tie for fourth place.
No, 100%. And every season it's your Northwoods and your Maryvilles, which it's exciting to see a bit of a change. Especially because I'm pretty sure Concord is always there in CRL, from what I've watched, obviously, but they're never like the top contender team.
Yeah.
They're just there. So it's interesting to see them win and open. I mean, so it's got to be kind of a wake up call for every other team that, even though these teams have pro players, like RLCS pro players, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, and especially it's any given Saturday, and I mean, in turn, any given Sunday as well. So like you have to be very cognizant of that and just be aware. Like it doesn't matter who you are, you can lose games. I mean, we saw that with Northwood last week. They lost to Tennessee, which they could play that series 15 times over again, and I don't think and this isn't even a diss to UTK. It's just to show just on how good Northwood is. I don't think in 15 straight series you would see UTK ever win the series again. And that's just showing it's any given Saturday. You get one chance, and if you don't take the opportunity, then you're gonna lose regardless. And that's why Northwood's sitting in third right now.
Yeah.
But looking at that bubble of the top 8, you now get into the single-digit point teams. You have Ball State, Fisher, both at 9. Both of those teams are also in this bracket, so one of them will likely be going home with no points today. As I see, we're already in the game, actually. It is 1-0 Southern Miss. I don't know if we just didn't join the party match or what happened there, but regardless, you're going to see us here in game number 1. We at least didn't miss the full game. We just missed the first couple of minutes, and I'm surprised it's only 1-0, but we're going to have to catch back up on the action here.
Yeah, it's hard to see. Our projector broke, so we don't have the little monitors on next to us, but it seems as if, Southern Miss is doing pretty good. Their offensive pressure is good as always. Utah Valley Black takes a quick shot to get there. Zath is going to try and go for a solo play. Doesn't quite get the touch that he wanted. Utah Valley Black gets a miss. I'm trying to read the names. I'm pretty sure that says Night Terror, Pink, and TJV. And of course, we have for Southern Miss, Melodic, Zath, and Astro. Our usuals, but Southern Miss, Zath goes for a beautiful bump. Astro unable to make that save, blocked off by TJV, and Melodic goes up for a little touch. Can Astro slot it? He cannot. Melodic going for another backboard touch, blocked out by TJV. Zath gonna go for that little double touch, doesn't have enough boost to get there. Or that's Astro. Astro gonna rotate back with Zath going up. It seems as if it's a very offensive heavy game from Southern Miss so far.
Yeah, right now we're seeing Southern Miss really get involved offensively here, and that's kind of expected, especially in these earlier rounds where they are playing teams that are a bit weaker than them. We kind of had this similar conversation last week where it's realistically, if you're not winning those first few rounds, especially if you're one of those top 15, top 25 teams, it's just, you're just taking care of business. And if you're not taking care of business, then there's something going wrong. You're not going to beat those better teams, especially in the later rounds when you get to your winners semis, winners quarterfinals. And Southern Miss only being up 1-0 is kind of surprising right now, kind of maybe even a testament to the defense we're seeing from Utah Valley. I mean, regardless, you're still winning the game if you're Southern Miss, but either way, you're not getting a large amount of points out of it, which isn't the end of the world. Like at the end of the day, a win is a win, but that might just be an open net, and it is just that. It'll be Night Terror for Utah Valley, capitalizing with just 2 seconds remaining. And as I was saying, you don't have a lot of points. Right there's a reason you need to get more on the board.
Yeah, I mean, and we had a talk earlier about the spatial awareness from our Southern Miss team and how Astro plays that really defensive measure while the other two try and play an attacking, and it seems as if Utah Valley had taken it on a kickoff goal.
Astro tries for the kickoff. It ends up stalling in the midfield, and I'll be real, I'm a diamond player, and I see that exact goal a million times over. It is probably the most frustrating goal to give up because of just the way the ball stalls in mid, and you're just like half an inch behind where the attacker is, like the person pushing the ball, and they're just simply going to pay for that. And I'm at almost at a loss for words. Great work from Utah Valley Black, and you can see in the shots category, actually, it's going to be relatively even, 8 in total from Utah Valley Black, and you're going to see 7 from Southern Miss. So actually getting outshot. So maybe those first 2-3 minutes that we missed, I guess Utah Valley was putting shot after shot downfield, and now Southern Miss, they're on not only on upset alert, but also they could head to the losers bracket in round 2.
Yeah, but I mean, as I was saying, it's a little bit of that first goal that Utah Valley had scored, a little bit of a spatial awareness thing from, Southern Miss, not unable to read each other and how that ball was going to go, just leaving that net wide open for Utah Valley just to make that quick shot, which ended up with them scoring an easy kickoff goal for the win. 0 seconds, might I add. But we'll see how Southern Miss manages to adjust here and try and take this game.
And something I wanted to talk about at some point in time, I didn't know when, I guess now is the perfect time, is that Astro needs to sit back, be that third man that we've seen him be so often. Is a shot on target from Melodic top left corner, not gonna go. That'll be Night Terror again, the hero of game 1, getting another opportunity there. That one will be on a save, and you're seeing Southern Miss put on some pressure, but Astro really needs to be the one facilitating these passes between Zath and Melodic. Realistically, those are going to be the main players in your offense. Astro, not necessarily the most mechanically gifted, at least in this point in time, and now you're going to have to see him look to step up defensively. He had 24 saves last week, and that's really what's going to give Southern Miss the opportunity to continue to hold a lot of these opponents to essentially no goals. But you're seeing USM now getting a lot more opportunities offensively here. They're putting on the pressure. They're doing the boost starving. They're doing everything correctly. They're just struggling to find the back of the net until that moment. It'll be Zath finally getting the opening, and that'll be Astro on the assist. As I was saying, you need to see Astro opening up those passing lanes, and right there you see him do just that.
Yeah, and Southern Miss is definitely taking advantage of that boost starvation that has happened millions of times with them. I mean, if Utah Valley Black is unable to get any boost just based off of Southern Miss, then it's just going to be a quick and easy goal. As we saw, it was just an open net for Zath to slot in, and it seems as if they are going for another quick offensive attack, blocked out by TJV, almost a shot on target, and it is, but saved by Zath, who's going to bang it up to Melodic, I'm pretty sure that is. But Melodic going for a demo play, does end up getting one, but it's right over his head. Can he slot the shot in? Goes for a dribble, unable to do anything, tries to pinch it there to Astro. Astro going for that quick double tap right down to that right wall. Zath is gonna fake it out. Utah Valley looking a little disgruntled right there. Two of them thought they were going for the ball, and Zath is gonna try and defend it. It looks like an easy shot there for Utah Valley, but right into Astro's hands, down, and we'll see what Southern Miss has.
And something that I'm noticing here from Utah Valley, they're doing an incredible job of continually being on the ball, and they are just putting all of the pressure on the passing game of Southern Miss, which has struggled every so often, especially recently. That's something that you're going to see Utah Valley look to exploit, and that's something I talked about last week. It doesn't matter your skill level. If you are able to contest the ball, it's not going to matter the skill difference. I mean, it will to a point, but in this level of play, I mean, Utah Valley, they have some solid players on their team. If they're just contesting the ball and keeping their presence known to the attacking of Southern Miss, especially with how weak the passing has been so far, they're going to be in a great spot, and they could even take this in a 2-0 if they manage to get something on the board within the next minute and 50 here.
Yeah, but I mean, Southern Miss right now is putting on that heavy offensive offensive pressure, drowning out Utah Valley Black. They're unable to get any boost whatsoever, as the only times they are is whenever they go for these offensive attacking plays after the ball clear, and at that point, Southern Miss just gets possession again. But Utah Valley has had some really good shots off of Southern Miss, and as I say that, TUV goes for that beautiful double touch. I'm pretty sure that was off of a bump too.
I wanted to mention the bump. I saw the player going straight for, I think that was Zath in net. That was exactly what sets up the play. That opens up the entirety of the net outside of that top right corner, and the entirety of the USM net was wide open out around that. So that bump coming in huge, and now you have a 1-1 scoreline. Although it's Melodic who is up, actually just gets a shot on target. It will be saved by Tuv, but you're now down to 1:10, 70 seconds, and USM are in a bit of trouble here. Now they still have the opportunity to take this game, and realistically they should, but at the same time, they look a bit sluggish today.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw there a little bit ago, Melodic and Astro did double commit that ball, which they could have scored otherwise. But it seems as if Utah Valley Black is just putting on this heavy offensive pressure, as Zath is going to give up the ball to Melodic, just trying to clear it as best as he can. And Astro's struggling off of the backboard there, couldn't quite read that ball correctly. And it looks as if that ball's going straight into net as TUV jumps, or Pink jumps for it. TUV going for a backboard touch. A pinch comes across from Southern Miss. Can they get that easy slot in? No one is there to finish it, but Melodic takes a bump off of Utah Valley Black. Southern Miss is going to have to make something happen here so that they stay in this game.
Absolutely. Now with just 10 seconds left, we may even see an OT. That's going to be a shot attempt from Melodic. At least gets the bump. It'll be tough though, carrying it downfield. We saw a double tap from him before. Not going to get anything there. Now it's going to be again a pass to the midfield, and that's what I've been talking about right then and there, but it will be OT. Night Terror, incredible save, top right bins, and that's what's going to at least push Utah Valley to a chance at an upset in a 2-0. They do not want to see a game 3 here, as you're going to see Night Terror carries the ball, not able to do much with it. Now onto the USM half. What is Southern Miss able to do defensively? It'll be tough again, looking for the double, and actually almost puts it on target. Doesn't matter. It's a 2-0. Pink slamming it home, and that is upset alert. You'll see Utah Valley Black in the next round. That is a 2-0 victory, and unexpected results abound. We talk about UTK beating Northwood. Let's talk about Utah Valley now. I believe they're the Tigers. I could be wrong. Sorry to anyone at Utah Valley if I got that wrong, but congrats to them. They are going to take down a strong Southern Miss team in round number 2. They will head on to play, I believe it will be either they will get a bye, because the both teams that they would have played ended up DQing. So they will await the winner of Robert Morris and Michigan Blue. Michigan Blue is not their main, that is Michigan Maize, that is their main team. So it is not quite the top level Michigan team, but we've just seen that Utah Valley can beat top level teams.
Yeah, that was, a crazy game, 1-goal scoreline, but Utah Valley Black able to create these beautiful offensive positions that just lead to goals. There's nothing else to say. Southern Miss always came out on top with a 1-goal lead for the majority of the match, and then at the very end, it's like they just got tired out, and Utah Valley was able to take advantage of everything that they had to score 2 quick goals, one in overtime. The other one was a 0-second goal to win the game, and we'll see an early lower bracket here from Southern Miss, so they're gonna have to make this lower bracket run all the way up to losers finals to even get 1 point.
It's going to be a grind now. I'm trying to find where they're going to be playing at, or who they're going to be playing. I am struggling very hard to do so, though, as these brackets are very hard to read when it's in the
lower bracket because there's just so many matches that are supposed to go on. I think I'm just blind. I can't find it, but eventually I'll let you guys know who they will end up playing. But actually, I just found it. They will play Carthage Red in losers round 2 here. And I mean, now we want to talk about points. You might not even sniff any part of a point giving round at this rate. You now need to win what, like 6-7 straight rounds if you won't even get near that loser's final.
Yeah. And you're gonna more than likely be worn out by the time you get to your either your Ball State or your Fisher Navy. So
okay, so I just counted. There are 9 rounds to play, and then you get to the losers final. After 9 straight best of 3s, you will then get to the best of 5 to qualify for Sunday. Just not ideal, to say the least, for Southern Miss.
Minimum of 18 individual Rocket League matches that they will have to play if they play perfectly.
I think I played for 4 hours last night and I didn't play 18 games. That's probably a very terrible statement. That's probably not even close to being correct. But like, regardless, like that is some Rocket League. I've been to LANs where you play an entire group stage in a day. You play a double group stage in a day, and you did not play that many matches. Like, this is a big time run for Southern Miss to have to make, which we should be able to get into this Carthage series relatively quickly, at least. They were awaiting Southern Miss here, but we'll have to see what goes down, as I don't know where the reporting is. I don't know. Have they reported it? I think it's just not loading on StartGG. Is really weird sometimes.
Yeah, but you know, hopefully that doesn't ruin the mentality of this Southern Miss team. I mean, they're gonna have to make the run one way or another if they want even a chance to make these CRL fall championships.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still just very, very surprised, to be honest with you, that this has even occurred. It's just very surprising to me, because it's not necessarily playing down to competition. I don't want to say it that way because it's not right. But at the same time, I mean, that's a team that realistically Southern Miss shouldn't have a ton of struggle with. They just, again, I mentioned it during the game, they look kind of sluggish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 100%. And it's, as you said, that spatial awareness from them really wasn't up to the par that we expected today, even based off of the way that they were playing last week. So they're going to have to, of course, adjust something during this next match if they want to move their way up.
Oh, I just also looked. If I'm reading this bracket correctly, which I'm pretty sure I am. I mean, they're sometimes a little hard to read, but as far as I can tell, actually, Carthage and Akron, I think that's like their C team, have both DQ'd, so that's probably a free win for Southern Miss. So actually, we might not have anything until losers round 3, which will be a little bit of a ways away. Have to wait for a loser of one of the winners bracket matches. So what we're gonna do here is we're waiting for things to be reported and all of that. Is we're gonna go to a quick little break. We're gonna toss 10 on the timer, and we will be back in about 10-ish minutes and kind of just update you guys if there's anything going on, and we'll see where the bracket's at that point. But we do have a little bit of waiting, so we'll catch you guys on the other side when we're ready to get into our next series.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have a Lubbock Christian White taking on Southern Miss Coca-Cola. Now, if you notice, that says losers round 3. That does not say winners round 4, and that is because Southern Miss got upset in round number 2. That was they were taken down by Utah Valley Black, and maybe not something you expect to see every single day, but regardless, it's going to have to be some fuel to the fire for Southern Miss. They need this game. They need the CRL points, and they are now in for a grind if they want to get anywhere near that.
Yeah, and also I'd just like to mention the team names are flipped, so Southern Miss is blue and Lubbock White is on orange.
No.
Really?
Yeah, look at.
Oh, the colors are just
The colors are really weird in game. I don't know why that is. I think it's because they're both in clubs. That's why. Because they're both in clubs. So it just gives the club color. So apologies for that. Barl will not recognize that, nor would the actual overlay either. So it's just a little weird to look at the orange side, but just trust.
Yeah, that is really odd. But it seems as if Southern Miss has been mainly attacking here as Astro manages to slot that top right off of a double commit from Melodic and Zath right there. But hey, Astro slots it, and it's a 1-0 lead Southern Miss.
So we have, as per our last series, there were 1-0 leads in every game for Southern Miss. Or I say every game, it was best of 3, so the 2 games that they played. They had a 1-0 lead, and they broke down in that last minute, and that's what ended up giving Utah Valley the win. And it's just, it's still hard to believe, but of course they have to have moved on by this point in time. You can see Zath looking to find Astro, now sending it to the backboard over for Melodic, and that is a slam home as Southern Miss taking a 2-0 lead now. You can see Melodic flying in from the corner. Great passing play, and we see Astro again racking up the assist. Astro's the one that's going to be facilitating a lot of this passing game for Southern Miss. That's the player you really want to look out for to see where his mind is going. He'll be playing defensively as well. Typically that third man back. Melodic, the tip of the spear, the one that's going to be going for a lot of those shots, at least initially. And you'll see Zath typically on the second looking for that cleanup or looking for a pass out to Melodic.
Yes, now Astro plays that third man, as you said, just to try and set up for Zath and Melodic, which Southern Miss has struggled before to kind of play that same rotation, as Astro does like to go up for air dribbles and flip resets. As we see here, he's just going to try and slot that down as Melodic just takes a shot off of Astro's 50. But, as I was saying, he does like to play that passing man, which is really good for the team because Melodic and Zath are two very mechanical ones players, so they can make these solo plays.
Absolutely, and we're seeing what realistically we thought we were going to see in round 1 or winners round 2. There is now a 3-0 lead, and Southern Miss have full control of this game. They should take game number 1 at this point, but of course there's always a chance for more, and that's a shot on target, but it doesn't find its way into the net. That's going to be Snapalicious taking that shot. It won't go through, just bouncing around the posts. Astro contesting the midfield, leaves it for Melodic, and this is the man you want to have the ball. Goes for the reset, waits a very long time, very patient there for Melodic. Won't end up getting much out of it. It will be a pass shot blocked by Snow. Another shot out for Melodic, and Lubbock just being forced to constantly find saves. And so far they're doing an okay job of it, but they're still down by 3.
Yeah, and Astro Astro and Melodic unable to find any passing plays. I thought on that one shot, Melodic was going to pass it to the middle to Astro, who was open, but he just ended up trying to hit it a little bit more central in the middle of the goal. But it seems as if Lubbock White is going for any shot play that they can. They're a little low on boost, as we see Shadow has nothing in the tank, and Zath goes for a quick shot straight to Astro. Astro hits it up for Melodic's double, and close. Melodic gets the demo to take that man off, but Shadow does get a little bit of a clear as Astro is going to take a quick shot, hit to the backboard. Snapalicious is going to try and hit it right over Zath. Zath bumped out by Snow, and Shadow is going to try and take a low 50. It's interesting to see all these Southern Miss players just trying to bump off the player as Melodic is going after Snow, but, you know, we'll see how they end up doing.
Yeah, and with just 45 left on the clock, that should be game number 1 in the hands of Southern Miss. They came together. They look much better this game. Like we had talked about before, they looked a bit sluggish in the first series of the day, looking a bit slow against Utah Valley, but now they're starting to pick up the pace. They're starting to get back into the groove of it, and the winner of this game will go, or this series will go on to play Jacksonville State. So whoever ends up taking it, which you're going to see game number 1 go the way of Southern Miss, then they will take on Jacksonville State in the next round. But they got to be very careful with every single game now, as one loss and you're out.
Yeah, and as you see, Southern Miss is going to try and take their time. Melodic went for a, and it looks as if Zax was going for the psycho off their backboard, and Lubbock White could not slot it for a last-minute goal, and it's 3-0 for the game, 1-0 for Southern Miss.
Yeah, a much better game there. You're going to see 14 shots to 4. USM doing a great job of keeping their presence available on offense. That's, I mean, just exactly why they've taken game number 1. When your shot differential is that drastic, I mean, yeah, that's all you can really do. And so we're gonna have the overweight switched. The players that are in the blue cars are the Southern Miss players, but like they're technically on the orange team. I don't know how that's happened. I don't know what the game is doing, but just be aware of that. Southern Miss still up 1-0. It's going to be another shot on target. Snapalicious once again taking it downfield, although Zath is there in the backfield. Not for very long, though, as it'll have to be up to the teammates of him to get those touches out into the midfield. You're going to see Astro now looking to pass it out. That's going to be Zath looking for a double. Does get it towards to target, but it won't go through. Astro will take a follow-up, also won't connect. Shadow will be the one to get the save. Snapalicious gets the dribble past one. Now Snow might have an opportunity, backs off, and so far we're seeing Lubbock fight back a bit better than what we saw in game number 1.
Yes, Lubbock is going to have to take advantage of bumping off the Southern Miss offense and defense, because as we see, they're doing a pretty good job of it right now. Southern Miss is unable to make any substantial shot plays. As I say that, Astro takes a quick shot, almost saved by, or almost a shot on target by Zath, but unable to hit. Melodic is jumping up at this ball, trying to give Southern Miss possession. Astro going to take a quick shot, saved off of the backboard by Snapalicious, straight to Melodic, who is 0 boost, but is going to hit it to Astro. Astro off the backboard, up to Zath. Zath not able to connect the double. Astro trying to make a touchdown, but Snapalicious is going to take this dribble play, try and get it past one, does end up getting it past Astro, but goes straight to Zath as Melodic is going to take another 50 play. Lubbock White doing beautiful rotations right now. Keep on attacking Southern Miss, as we see right there, a little bit of a double commit. Snow 0 boost on that backboard, but Southern Miss trying to take every shot that they can. Can't quite do anything.
And we saw Snow there was also getting bump chased. Didn't end up working out as the ball was not in a great scoring position, but still you're seeing the ideas from Southern Miss. They're looking to get a lot more bumps, a lot of demos. That's something that I've had in the back of my mind as like a talking point for them. As we get a good shot from Astro, he's going to just carry it on top of his car and get a very simplistic shot into the back of the net. He's definitely that type of player. He's not going to do anything too crazy, and you're going to see right there why it works out for him. Now you will see it says Lubbock White. It's technically incorrect, but at the same time it's correct. loose for some reason. I don't know what's happening, but Melodic now looking for the what could be a dagger, double tap, wide open net. You're not going to miss those if you're Melodic. He's just that type of player. You give him the open space on the backboard and he's going to make you pay for it, off the ceiling, off the wall. He's maybe not the fairest of them all when it comes to playing the game. He's a one-man wrecking crew right there.
Yeah, I mean, just what a touch off of that ceiling straight into a double tap. As Snapalicious is going to go for a quick shot there. Straight up to Astro, though, as Astro goes for a little flick pop. Couldn't quite get it, but does manage to get the bump off of Snow, and Snapalicious hits it straight to Zath. Melodic just kind of playing defense and misses.
That on my screen, or like maybe I saw it differently, but it looked like he got a touch there. So I guess it just he wasn't there like I thought he was. I guess not. It was just barely over him by like maybe a centimeter there. But regardless, it'll be a 2-1 lead now for Southern Miss, cutting that lead back down to 1. So they're gonna need to continue to hold on defensively. Melodic is back once more, pops it up. He does have the boost to carry this one, but Zath will be the one to intercept it. Astro put in a bit of a weird spot, needs to go for the second touch, but has no boost. And now you're gonna see some boost starving coming out from Lubbock, but for how long are they gonna be able to sustain it? Snow lobbing it up for Snapalicious. Good touch off the ceiling, gives his team an opportunity, but won't go. Blocked, spotted out by Southern Miss. Now you're seeing Astro and Zath playing a little bit of passing game with each other. Now they're not going to be able to get anything out of it. Shadow across the field. Snapalicious is there, but Zath is on the ball first. Has no boost, but might have an opportunity to get the touch right here.
Yes, now one thing I would like to see from these Southern Miss players is there's a staple thing in speed of play that we've seen from teams like Northwood and Ball State, where they're using every opportunity they get with zero boost to do any type of recovery mechanic, as Melodic slots that in from a pass from Zath. Beautiful play, Zath with the pinch off of the ceiling right into Melodic's hands. But as I was saying, Southern Miss needs to take every opportunity they can with zero boost to really utilize their recovery mechanics like wave dashes or speed flips, because you'll just see them driving, just no flips whatsoever, not utilizing these mechanics to get them up to full speed, which make them a faster team overall. But it's going to work out here. But as we see them getting to these higher level rounds, it's not going to be the same case. It's the speed of play definitely has to make a change, as Melodic does misread that ball. Astro is going to try and take a little touch to Snapalicious. Melodic almost read that too. Zath going to almost make that double. It's an own goal, question mark? That was such an interesting little wow.
Yeah, we see Zath go for the double, and ends up being more of a pass than anything else, but it will kind of be an own goal, kind of not be an own goal for Lubbock. Regardless, though, they were already down 3-1. It's going to now be 4-1. There's only 49 on the clock, too. You're not coming back from this, to be honest with you. Lubbock had a good game 1, but game 2 kind of gets away from them a little bit, and you're going to see Southern Miss move on. They get back together. They looked much cleaner in this round. Struggled a lot against Utah Valley, and now we're going to see them look to continue moving on in the bracket. They'll be taking on Jacksonville State in the next round. While we're on the topic, though, of Rocket League, we're going to talk about Southern Miss Gold, who is currently in the same round as Southern Miss White, or sorry, Southern Miss White. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Melodic getting another goal, 5-1. I read Davenport White and said Southern Miss White. I did not mean to say that. They are in losers round 4. They just got a DQ win over UO Green. They'll play either Michigan Blue or Florida Southern Academy, and it looks like only one game has been played there. It's looking like, though, it might be Florida Southern Academy for Southern Miss Gold to take on. So we'll keep tabs on them while they're making a good run themselves. I also am just now seeing Oakland is also in this bracket.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Sorry, we're not really talking about the game. I mean, if you look at the score, you'll understand why. A good shot from Astro, though, off the wall. Used that flip super late and ends up making it work, as Snow was going to leave before the game actually ends. And
So did they all did.
they all left. We're going to let this last 10 seconds run out. A pinch attempt from Southern Miss, but wisely, they're not going to end up scoring because they just want to run the clock out. You can just see the passing plays from them. And typically, you would not see a team leave with 10 seconds left, but I've seen a few do that as we have just there. Now they're just going to carry the ball, have a little bit of fun with the ball before they end up closing out this series officially 2-0. Good work from them. Definitely bouncing back well, but we have a series pop pretty much immediately. It'll be Jacksonville State. I'm assuming that's going to be their main team. The name is super long, so I'm trying to click into all these tabs to see if it is. And everything, it just shortens. Finally, I can see it. It will be Jacksonville State Team 1 that we'll see Southern Miss Coca-Cola take on. On the other side of things, we're also going to see Southern Miss Gold, which technically there's a chance really late in the losers bracket that we see Southern Miss Gold, Southern Miss Coca-Cola. I don't think that's going to happen, but it would have to go all the way to the losers semifinal for those two to see each other in bracket.
That would be awesome, an awesome, amazing game to commentate. And it's interesting because I'm pretty sure Southern Miss Gold, we really haven't seen them because they've been in a different bracket than Coca-Cola.
Well, they also didn't play. I don't think they played week 1.
Did they? No, they did. I don't think they played week 2.
Yeah, there was one of the weeks they didn't play, so we couldn't have seen them. But they just haven't been being put in the same bracket, which is ideal, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see them play now. Now, I don't know specifically the scores because they did end up losing to Mizzou, which is expected, and I don't know the scores for that, but they could, there's a strong possibility that they do make that lower bracket run all the way.
That would be that'd be great to see from them. I would love to see that. But we should, I think, honestly, have the game start relatively quickly, depending on how quickly both teams get ready up on Start GG, which Start GG on mobile, by the way, is not ideal. I spend more time waiting for it to load than anything else. Southern Miss has readied up. They're just waiting for Jacksonville State. And look at who's in the next round. It is Davenport Red. So a very tough bracket run for Southern Miss. Now, I believe Red is their team 2. I think Black is their team 1.
Yes.
So that is not quite the top, I think, like 15 team that they would be playing in that round, but it is still a top, I think, 30 team. I think they're like 27 or something like that. I wrote it down, but I took my notes over there for some reason, so I don't have them sitting in front of me. But honestly, I'm curious. I don't know much about this Jacksonville State team. I expect a very similar result to what we saw with Lubbock Christian White, but you never know, especially what we saw with Utah Valley.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do. They've made it here, which isn't a very far run into the lower bracket, but we will see. They did manage to beat, I'm pretty sure we are in lower bracket round 4.
Yes.
Which means they have beaten at least 3 teams, if I'm not mistaken.
So they got a DQ win over GVSU to get into this round. That was in losers round 3 that they got that DQ win. I will look to see where the rest of their matches were, because I'm not necessarily sure where they even were on the bracket. I don't even remember seeing them. So I'll take a look here and find them. And it looks like they ended up getting a DQ win over RIT Orange, and they lost in game 3 to Thomas College, who is now playing Mizzou in winners round 4. So winners round 3 is where we saw Jacksonville State fall, and outside of that, they've had 2 DQ wins, so we don't really have much info on them regardless. And now we will be getting into the game, though. We have Jacksonville State, we have Southern Miss Coca-Cola. The colors are not like busted this time. I don't know what happened, but last time they were like immensely broken, and now they're at least fixed.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was the game breaking it, or I don't know what happened, because like we were seeing the blue cars for Southern Miss, but they were the orange team. So like I don't know what was going on, but we are in game number 1, much quicker than what we've seen in the rest of the series today, as Malone
Melodic will be the first one on the ball. That's the guy you want getting that first touch. Is Astro. Great 1-2. The backboard can't get the double. Didn't really have a lot of boost to work with. Zath with 0 boost, actually. Will have to clean things up defensively. Nino is going to get a demo onto Zath. Melodic now looking for Astro on that right side of the field. Just going to have to take it himself. I know Zath is in the midfield as, again, another cross coming in. Nino once again on the save as Southern Miss putting on the pressure. You're going to see Zath go for a double. That won't go, though. Great block there from Sociopath as Melodic now up to bat for Southern Miss. Gets a reset, gets a goal. That's going to be Southern Miss putting on so much pressure. Not even a chance for Jacksonville State to breathe. That'll be goal 1 going to Melodic.
Yeah, now it's interesting to see Melodic has scored, I think, 2 goals off of the ceiling so far, which is a really hard goal to read and just shows you how skillful Melodic is, especially in these solo plays, because if that's one thing you never expect to see is a ball bouncing off the ceiling and someone scoring off of it, especially a flip reset like he got. But we're gonna have to see Jacksonville State pull out some demos here, maybe some boost starving, as Melodic went for that demo but ended up getting demoed from Sociopath, and Nino trying to go for an air dribble but blocked out by Zath, and Melodic's gonna take a quick shot right into the goal. I think that was a miss there from Sociopath. He could have had that, just 0 boost, unable to do anything. So
yeah,
nice little shot there from Melodic, and it is 2-0 Southern Miss.
And a smart play from Zath there as well. After he gets that first touch on the ball, he goes straight down, sees that there's a player in net, immediately looks to bump him. Now, would that bump have necessarily been the most important thing? Maybe not, as Melodic going for the aerial musty, if I'm remembering my mechanics correctly. That is something I have not seen in a long time, but now Melodic going to get a chance to lob it off the backboard for Zath, and he takes a bad angle, so it will be at least a momentary set of breathing room here for Jacksonville State. Now Sociopath looking to send it mid. Melodic going to be the one to get the possession, though, for Southern Miss, and now they're looking to roll Melodic off the back wall. A little bit of a team bump, but it doesn't ultimately matter. Sociopath is going to look to go coast to coast, but only gets to about the Midwest.
And now Nino's going to look to control this ball. He has a lot of space, tries to get it over Astro, unable to, and Astro is going to pinch that off the ceiling straight to Zath for a left of the goal slot. Beautiful plays right there from Astro, just pinching that off of the ceiling away from Sociopath, so Zath with 0 boost could get that quick and easy goal, and it is 3-0 Southern Miss in losers round 4.
Yeah, I mean, great stuff from Coca-Cola this time around. It really looks like that first round loss woke them up a little bit. And I mean, to be fair, as it should have, it has done not wonders for them, but it has definitely helped them see that they need to make sure that they're on their game at all times. And you can always get upset. Again, there's a reason the phrase "any given Saturday" exists. I mean, I know it's a college football term, but it don't really matter. Like it's any given Saturday. It doesn't matter if it's CRL. It doesn't matter if it's college football. It doesn't matter if it's baseball. I don't even know if they play on Saturdays. It don't matter. And now you're going to see Sociopath looking to find one of his teammates, and he ends up musty flicking around his teammate. Great mechanic. It's just unfortunate you're juking out your own teammate. As now Melodic, good pass down to Zath. Going to give him a chance to double. Actually, just leaves it for Astro. The 4-head play, 5-head play even from Southern Miss won't go through, but using the entire team to their advantage. Zath will get demoed by Moon Creature. Doesn't matter. Space is opened up. Melodic gets the assist. Astro finds the 4th. That likely will seal the 1-0 lead for Southern Miss.
Yeah, Southern Miss trying to find their momentum here, and it seems like they are doing it. Getting these bumps off, boost starving the heck out of Jacksonville State to where they really can't make any good saves. But I mean, that's what you want to see. They took that first round as a lesson that anything can happen. They can't always play safe. They have to play to their peak at all times, because you never know what might happen. And it seems as if they are doing really well. They are playing more of a threes rotation than they usually do, which is it's good to see. Obviously, this is 3v3,
I was
so
gonna
you
say, it
want to
feels
see.
weird to have to say that too.
Yeah.
But it definitely feels like we're seeing a lot more cohesion among the entire roster. We do see a double commit there, but in a good way. That's one where you're forcing a lot of pressure on that defense. You don't know who's going to actually get the touch because both players had an opportunity. Zath looks for that top left corner, not going to go, but still keeping himself on the ball allows Astro to go for another touch. Now Melodic's going to be up to bat. Going to be a swing and a miss there, more of a swing and a out at first base. Astro sends it around to the corner. Melodic is in position for a pass, but met by Nino. Finally, we're seeing Jacksonville State at least read some of these passes, but might just be too little too late, at least for game number 1, but maybe a good learning experience for game number 2 and possibly a third if we get that far. You're going to see Astro, though, looking to get Moon Creature out of the way, and it will be Zath coming in top from the top row. Makes it 5-0, now just 36 on the clock. We're basically just in the waiting room for game number 2.
Yeah, Moon Creature unable to get that demo on Astro to give him ball possession. He did end up getting ball possession, but only had one small little touch because he was 0 boost. So Southern Miss got that quick and easy goal slotted in by Zath. But, you know, what are you going to do? As Moon Creature almost makes a shot, but bounces off that crossbar so close there from Jacksonville State. Sociopath is going to take a low little 50 there. Nino's going to go up, beat by Melodic as he's trying to look for a demo. Sociopath pass up to Moon Creature, unable to get there. Astro pass to Melodic. Melodic beat out by Moon Creature, and Nino's just trying to look for this goal. Doesn't manage to score, misses out, and it's 5-0. Southern Miss takes the first game 1-0.
Great work from Southern Miss. I mean, they've made the adjustments necessary to continue themselves on in this bracket. And I mean, I'll be honest, I'm just kind of looking into future rounds right now, seeing what's around, because that's kind of what I expected from this game is Melodic. I'm assuming going to change the car this time. We saw him do that last week as well. He switched from, I believe he started out on a Fennec and then switched to an Octane. And we may see that again here. He just typically does that. I don't necessarily know why, and it looks like he's still in a Fennec, so may have been looking for something else, maybe a different, even just a different preset for the Fennec. That I know there's certain ones that you feel good in, certain ones you feel bad in. It's just a Rocket League thing, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
I read Digi left the match, and I was so confused for a second, but I thought it was one of the players. It is not. So we have everyone in the lobby, thankfully.
Yeah. Now, from what I see, it looks like Astro did, or Melodic did switch out from that anodized pearl Fennec preset and put on the titanium white Zombas.
I'm glad you noticed that because I would not have been able to call that out.
My Rocket League trading knowledge is so far into the future.
Good pass there from Melodic, all the way from the backboard to a little bit past midfield. Great stuff. The goal won't count as it does get saved, but the idea once again there, maybe a pinch attempt in from Southern Miss, not going to go. Zath now on the ceiling looking for the shot. Does kind of put one towards the net, but I believe it would have ended up hitting the backboard regardless. Nino now looking for their own sort of pass up to Moon Creature. Not going to go. Now a minute off this clock in game 2, and we're seeing Jacksonville State start to bring back the fight a little bit. They're looking a bit better than what we saw in game 1. Sociopath looking for the read, not going to get there, as it's going to be another shot attempt, but also not going to go there. Contention though on the ball. Jacksonville State at least putting some pressure on Southern Miss this time around. Getting bumped is Nino. Moon Creature going to send it to the back wall, not going to go. Zath will now be the one to carry it out for Southern Miss. Going to send this one up, and we're going to see a passing play once more from Southern Miss. Is Asher going to be there? No, it'll be a Melodic on the double top right bins. Somehow, despite where he was, that somehow makes it all the way back off the bounce into the top right corner.
Wow, I mean, what a play by Melodic. I'm pretty sure Moon Creature would have had that, but he was unfortunately bumped off by Nino, which you never know. Melodic managed to hit that down on the ground and slot that in the top right as he's going for another double touch and managed to get it again as Melodic has just put them up 2-0.
And that's simply just a whiff on the backboard. You can't give that up to Melodic.
Melodic will score that every single day, and I've said that probably at least 15 times on our broadcasts, but it just continues to be a true statement. If you give Melodic space on the backboard, the ball will be in the net somewhere. I don't know where, but it will be in the back of the net. As Astro gets another shot, that one will count. Not necessarily meant to be a shot, but regardless, it still will be recorded in the stats as one. Zath will go for the block. That's a double commit from Jacksonville State, now giving Astro the opportunity to get this touch. I thought he was going to go for a bump. I feel like that would have been a smarter play. Give your offense an opportunity to just score on an open net, as the other two were not able to get back in time. But regardless, that's not always something you're going to see in the moment. Astro passing it back to Zath. Good work there. Now sending it back downfield. Sociopath gets a demo. Going to open up at least a little bit of spacing. That's going to open up a lot of bit of spacing, although Astro should be around, and he is. He's just hanging out in the midfield. We'll have to leave it for Zath, but is now on the backboard. Doesn't get the read. Now Jacksonville State again have some offense to go with.
Yeah, they do have that offensive play, which they do not have control, as Southern Miss did manage to take control really fast. Melodic getting an easy 50 right down there to Zath. As Zath passes it to Astro, and almost a very clean redirect as Nino's taking that solo play. Melodic hits it over two, and Astro's going to leave it to Zath. Maybe go for a 3 passing plays. Astro not in position for that pass to Zath, but you can see Southern Miss has the idea. They know how to get around these teams, and it's just beautiful seeing the way that they're trying everything they can to learn from these plays. What a bump by Astro. Just slots it in from Zath from a double tap. As we see, Astro just beats out the only player on Jacksonville State with any boost to give Zath that demo or that goal, and it is 3-0 Southern Miss.
We're seeing a lot of smarter plays out of Southern Miss as well. We're seeing those passing plays. I mean, that 1-2-3 play got to about 2.5, maybe 2.8, and then it ended up getting sent away. That's a bad whiff. That's a double bad whiff, almost a triple bad whiff, as that's not what you want to see every day. Nino struggling a little bit, needs to just go back, grab some boost, get a quick reset before they get back into it, but they're not going to have the opportunity to. I lied. I really wish they didn't listen to me, because that's exactly what they did, and they end up getting scored on because of it. 4-0 now for Southern Miss, and it looks like that might just be the dagger right then and there.
Yeah, Southern Miss playing these passing plays really well, knowing how to work around this Jacksonville State team, as Jacksonville State will end up faking that kickoff, but unable to get anything, as it goes right down to Melodic or to Astro. Astro trying to slot this in. So close, saved by Sociopath, and Zath is going to go for another 50, unable to get it. And this Southern Miss offense is looking really good right now as they keep this offensive pressure, as Zath barely slots that in. Moon Creature did end up getting that save, as we see on the stat sheet, but oh my gosh, what a shot.
Not much you can do to defend that, at least from that angle. You would have had to have been putting your car straight up in the air with basically no bending back, and I mean, that's not an easy save by any means, as you'll see Southern Miss now a 5-0 lead, 50 seconds on the clock. They're going to close this one out in a 2-0 fashion. They're going to go on to play Davenport Red in the next round, and now they're going to see a bit of a tougher team. Davenport Red, not one of the top teams, but they are very noteworthy, as Melodic gets a nice dribble into the back of the net. That's going to be a hat trick for Melodic. And this Davenport Red team, I believe they're ranked 38, so not in that top 25, but regardless, still a team that is noteworthy, at least at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, Southern Miss taking it out. They lost to UTK, but ends up taking their bearings back, wanting to make this lower bracket run, as they will have to face some giants the further on they get, obviously, but they're just gonna play this out. There's literally no way Jacksonville State comes out with this game, so it is gonna be a Southern Miss win. Now let's talk a little bit about that future bracket, who they will be playing next. After this game, they will play Wichita State Esports, their varsity squad, So we will get a game. There will be no break right after this, but it should be interesting. And to check in on our I'm looking at the gold team. The gold team will, if they win against Florida Southern Academy, will play Wichita State. We will be playing
Davenport
Red, which is their B team.
Yes.
So it should be a good match because Davenport Red is still on those power rankings. I can't remember quite where they are. 38th. So it should be maybe a better match. We'll never know. But we'll see. Southern Miss looks really good that match. So we'll see if they keep this momentum all the way through losers.
And looking throughout the bracket, if they can win this match, they realistically should have a decent shot at continuing their run. Now, realistically, they probably should at least get to like losers round 7, losers round 8. Now, that's obviously looking very far ahead. Right now, they're only getting to losers round 5 here in a bit. But regardless, they are at least getting their wins. They're starting to rack it up, starting to get together, play a lot more collective. And that's what's really going to give them the win here in this series. Is they're going to be playing a decent team now. Not that the other teams haven't been good. It's just now you're playing back at that near that top level of competition. You're hitting your Davenport Red. So we'll have to take a look at how that squad decides to play. On the upper bracket side, you're going to have Ball State taking on Fisher Navy for a spot against likely what will be Northwood, Mizzou, Rochester Christian, or Michigan State Green. Now, that has not been, the upper bracket isn't fully decided just yet, and there's a couple rounds that still need to be played before we hit those winners final, before we even hit the winners semifinal. But we'll see what ends up happening up there, at least just to keep track of it, regardless if it matters to us or not, because obviously Southern Miss will have to make it all the way to that losers final to even see one of those top 4.
Yes, exactly. So I'm excited to see how our gold team does, especially if they beat Florida Southern Academy, because Florida Southern Academy is a pretty good team from what I know. They beat Michigan Blue 2-0. Which I think our gold team has only played one actual match.
Yeah, this is like their second match, I believe. And it is, I mean, obviously we can't see the score, but something I want to note is that if they do beat Florida Southern Academy, they, as you mentioned earlier, they do take on Wichita State. That is actually one of the 2 teams that we will see on Monday in the doubleheader against Rocket League Coca-Cola. They will have a doubleheader to close out the NACE regular season. They will play at 7 and 8. I believe 8 p.m. is when they play Wichita State. So make sure you follow us here on Twitch and on our social medias at Southern Miss Esports on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and at USM Esports on Twitter to see when those matches go live, to see who we are playing and all that sort of stuff. Also, again, go follow here, turn those notifications on to see when our stream goes live so you can see when we play and who we play, because we are getting streams out essentially every single day of the week that's not named Sunday. And hey, if we get to Rocket League CRL Sunday, then there we go. We finally get a Sunday stream. But for now, we have losers round, I believe, 5 on deck. It'll just have to be a little bit of time before we get the full check-in from both squads, I believe, and also make sure that the scores get reported, because sometimes the website doesn't like updating. But we'll have to hop in there when we get everyone around in the lobby. But I think for right now, while we await these teams to get posted on up, we may, I was going to say break, but no, we definitely don't, because the site's just taking forever to update. So we are just slowly waiting for everything to fall into place. Other results I want to talk about: Fisher Navy taking down Robert Morris 2-0. Ball State taking Nichols College 2-0. That's one worth noting. Both those teams in the top, I believe, 40, top 30, something like that. I know Nichols College was somewhere, but I think they were like 36. So not a huge stat, but regardless, it was 1-0-2-0. So Nichols playing very close with a team like Ball State. Ball State, as we both know, very strong school. Southern Miss has played them a couple times already, and I don't think they've beaten them yet.
No, I don't even think that they've taken a single game off of Ball State yet. But hey, they've played Ball State both in week 1 and in week 2. So we might see something because Southern Miss, we've seen this gradual progression as we have been here every CRL Sunday. And we've watched them every Monday whenever they play in NACE and ECAC. So their gradual progression as a team has been really good. So we'll just see. We'll have to see how it ends up rolling.
And it looks like Northwood Blue has 2-0 USF Gold, so they will finally be getting into their matchup with Michigan State Green. That should be a decent matchup. I believe Michigan State Green is in that top 10, so that's a team to definitely be looking out for. Mizzou going to be taking on Rochester Christian, and those four will have a spot in the winners semifinal. And we'll see on the other side of the bracket who comes out on top between Ball State and Fisher Navy for a spot in the winners final. Now, the winner of that will have a chance to get to CRL Sunday through winners, which would be a massive result for both of those squads, as they're both in that bubble area of barely missing out on the playoffs if someone comes out of the woodwork, but they also are in a pretty good spot. I believe Fisher Navy has 9 points and Ball State has, or it's the other way around. Ball State has 9 and Fisher Navy has 8. So both teams in a very decent spot, but they can absolutely benefit a lot from getting those points on Sunday.
And it'll be interesting to see one of them being taken out, because more than likely they're going to be taken out unless Ball State manages to beat the Northwood in the upper bracket, which would be they could do it. It'd be a very interesting thing to see, because there has been a lot of upsets in these past 2 weeks especially. So we'll see that. I'm interested because Southern Miss more than likely will play Fisher Navy if they make it all the way up there, but we will have to see. I'm still waiting on this Southern Miss Gold game to finish. It has been going on for about 18 minutes now, which, as we said, the site's a little buggy, so things don't update in the times that they should. But we are still waiting on Davenport to check in so that we can play our Coca-Cola match.
And after this round, if Southern Miss does manage to take down Davenport Red, they will play either UCF, Davenport White, or RIT White. Now, out of those 3 teams, I'm just going to take UCF there, but Davenport White is definitely a team to also be looking out for. I mean, just Davenport in general. Davenport, I think, has like 4 Rocket League teams, and all of them are pretty solid rosters. So you got to be aware. If you see Davenport somewhere in Rocket League, it doesn't matter which one you're facing off against. You need to be on your A game. Those squads definitely bring it all to the table. Now, out of them though, or out of that top side though, I just don't see UCF falling there. I don't have a reason for it. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, which makes sense. But we'll have to see. Never know what could happen.
One result that I am seeing that's kind of surprising to me, Kent State taking down Oakland 2-0. Now, I don't know if the Oakland roster is the roster I'm familiar with. It probably isn't, and that's why I'm surprised. And yeah, okay, it's not. It's not a single player is the same. So that would be why. I was going to be surprised, but not anymore. I don't really know any of those players. In fact, I think I know their captain, but that's like kind of it. So never mind. It's probably not as surprising as it would have been like a couple years ago, because Oakland was a very solid team, and they were always like either bubble CRL or in CRL for the past few years, but it looks like they've changed up their roster a good bit, probably due to graduation and that sort of thing. I mean, most of them I think were in my graduating class, and now I'm a graduate student, so yeah, they're probably just not there anymore.
Yup. Just waiting on this Davenport check-in.
Looking at the other side, though, as I mentioned, Kent State taking down Oakland, that has gotten them into a matchup with USF Gold. So that one is currently going on. Outside of that, though, there aren't really many matches going on in this bracket. We're going to see still Ball State Fisher Navy. That one is currently 1-0 Fisher Navy. So that's a big one to be on the alert for. Fisher Navy could get themselves into that winners final. That would be a huge result for them. I mean, obviously a huge result for either team, but I believe Fisher Navy is the higher ranked team, but regardless, that's probably a very solid game to be watching. Looking in at Mizzou Rochester, nothing reported there. And looking at Northwood Michigan State, also nothing reported there. So out of the, I think, 3 games going on, there's not a lot, as Davenport has now checked in. We have Southern Miss, we have Davenport Red. We should be getting into the game here pretty soon, and we can at least get straight back to commentary then, instead of having to really do everything we can to fill time, because especially with not many games going on, it's kind of tough to do sometimes. But I'm assuming the Southern Miss Gold game is going to 3. It's been going on for 20 minutes, so there's a chance that they have gone to all 3. San Diego State also in that lower round, taking SDSU with Texas A&M. I don't know if that's maroon or if that's white, but my guess would be that that's probably Texas A&M white, if I can click through all the names and see it. It actually is Texas A&M maroon, so that is their main roster down in the losers bracket currently. But as far as I know, these are 2 teams that also aren't ranked, so nothing too major to worry about. I'm going to start looking at the other brackets too to see what's going on over there, as I do see the game now loaded on up. It will be Southern Miss, Davenport Red. We'll see where they end up going, as I see every player in the lobby just constantly switching teams. So we'll eventually, hopefully, be able to get this one right, as everyone is now ready. We have the game started. We are now into game number 1. Southern Miss, Coca-Cola, Davenport Red, lower round 5. Losers out of CRL week 3. Winner will then go on to losers round 6.
As Southern Miss takes an early offensive lead there, Astro almost slotting that ball top left, unable to, as we see Southern Miss is very low on boost. Melodic has nothing. Now, to call out the Davenport Red players right now, while we have a little bit of time, is the start of this game is going to be a little bit slower, more than likely, as both teams kind of get a feel for how each other plays. We have Tater, Ira, and Para for Davenport Red, and of course our Southern Miss players, Melodic, Vath, and Astro. Now, from what it looks like, Southern Miss has played a really heavy offensive game, almost taking an early goal right there, as that ball is saved out by Astro. Tater is going to go for that, unable to do anything. Para takes it up the wall, hits it right over Melodic, but unable to do anything. Melodic, 0 boost, just hitting it out to Zath to try and make a play. Zath leaving the ball for Melodic. Melodic beat out by Para. It's I can't quite see what the player names are, but I'm trying.
It's going to be Tater taking it up to the wall. Melodic there to meet him, but will unfortunately miss that meeting time, as it'll be Byra in the backfield waiting for it, but they have to leave it for Melodic. Giving Melodic space is not ideal, but you can let him run all his boost out of the tank. That'll make things at least a little bit easier defensively. Now you're going to see the centered ball, but Met dropping very, very slow. That's going to be read pretty easily by Southern Miss. Byra doesn't get a great touch there. Zath looking for the double, tries to make it a triple, and it will not go. No bases stolen, as we'll see Davenport Red now shot opportunity, or actually I say shot opportunity, I'm looking at the wrong net. Shot opportunity on your own net, which is not ideal. Now a flip reset in for, I believe that is Byra. Now off to the corner. Good passing from Davenport, but the passes are not fast enough. We're going to see Davenport have to get on the back foot now, as Southern Miss trying to put on the pressure. They're going to take a shot, actually just hits off the backboard. Now the follow-up, and that's going to be Zap, top left corner. Southern Miss up 1-0.
Yes, now the names are not showing up on the screen, but Zath is the player with the red Astro CSX, and Astro is the Fennec, the little bit more of a boxy car, as Davenport Red is going to take a kickoff goal there by Para. Para doing it beautifully, just hits it straight into the net. Unfortunate, it's a kickoff goal, it happens. Astro didn't turn the correct way, thought the ball was going to go one way, but hey, 1-1 tied game.
Big response there from Davenport. We saw a lot of the teams here getting put out of the game very early on, as we're seeing Davenport
at least put a fight. The past few series haven't been really that close for Southern Miss, and now you're finally getting a chance, if you are Davenport, to get yourself into this game. Now Davenport having the opportunity to go downfield. It'll be Tater just letting Melodic take that touch. I would have liked to see him contest it. He had the opportunity, he had the boost, just decided not to, as now he'll look to will possibly bump out Zath, just grabs the boost instead, looking to starve now Southern Miss, as Zath, a big touch around one of those players, that defender not able to do a thing about that. Melodic sending it out to Astro, not gonna go. Astro now just gonna shoot it himself, hits the crossbar. So for now, you'll still have a 1-1 scoreline, although Tater looking to dribble. Now downfield is Astro. So far now, we're just seeing the midfield be the main point of contention, but look at that. That's a whiff. That's a goal. Byra putting Davenport ahead.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? Byra hits it right over. Zath couldn't quite read the ceiling bounce. Now, while we're at a bit of a point on this kickoff, I would like to say our Southern Miss Gold team did end up losing 2-1 to Florida Southern Academy. Great run from them. You know, they're not quite as high leveled. They are still a really good team, you know, taking Florida Southern Academy to a game 3. Ended up losing that game 3, 2-1. But hey, beautiful plays from our gold team. Shout out to them. And Southern Miss is going to have to look for another goal as Melodic takes a quick shot, saved out by Para. Astro is going to try and hit it towards any one of Southern Miss's players, unable to, as Zath couldn't make the pass right there to Melodic. Melodic going to take a quick shot. Is that just in? Byra able to make that save. Zath is going to take a backboard shot, missed by Byra, missed by Tater. Astro touching it up for Melodic. Can Melodic make that double? No, Tater is on that backboard. A little hit there from Astro to Zath. Zath unable to slot it due to Davenport's players. And
never mind.
Nothing.
So I mean, I say and then it's a whiff. It's not a whiff. It's just not a good shot. That was a wide open net. That could have been game number 1 to Davenport Red right there. And now, are they going to have to pay for it? Is Zath trying to send it down, looking for a last second opportunity? Melodic is now in position. This is not the guy you want to see passing the ball, as it goes up now for Davenport. They need to just get it onto the ground. Can they do it though? And it will be that. You will see it says Nichols College there, and also the other team's name is UCLA. I don't know how that happened in this lobby, but regardless, it is Davenport Red taking game number 1. Yeah, like you can see right there. I don't know who made this lobby, but I'll be real, those are not the teams playing.
Yeah, Melodic left the game, changing his car preset again, just looking to find that car preset that really puts him over the top, which I don't know why he switched out of the Fennec. It seemed to work for him well. I mean, he had a hat trick that one game, but you never know.
Was he in the Fennec? He was in the Fennec that game, right?
No, he was in an Octane.
Oh, I didn't even notice. I looked away. I mean, I was staring at the game, but I wasn't like, I didn't notice that. That's interesting stuff from Melodic. Maybe going back to that Fennec.
We will see. It's probably going to be the titanium white Zomba Fennec. It is not. He is back in his anodized pearl Fennec.
That's his 3rd preset today. Not that I'm counting for any reason. It just threw me off to see him change again. But regardless, it will be 5 minutes on the clock. Davenport Red looking to upset Southern Miss, and it would technically be an upset. Davenport Red, I think we said, is 38th, and Southern Miss is 21st. Now, you can take those polls with a grain of salt. I know I talk about them like they're gospel. They are absolutely not. Trust me, I've seen the chatter from the community about that poll, but like, so is every top 25. Like even the CFB ones, like they're good, but like, you know, you're still missing some things.
Yeah.
As Tater gets a demo onto Zath, the ball is stuck in that Southern Miss half. Good clear from Melodic, but it'll go straight back to Tater. Astro not able to get there in time. Now it's going to be an opportunity for Davenport to capitalize, but you're going to see Astro again getting a heavy touchdown field. Hands possession over to Para. Now Para going to just continue on downfield, look for a bump. Very smart play. Astro though managed to avoid, but not for very long. Doesn't keep possession, and these rotations from Southern Miss are going to be crucial because we talked about them last game. They look much better, and they're going to be what gives them the game here. They need to be very smart. They need to play good Rocket League if they want to take this series.
True, but however, you got to give it to Davenport, able to play these bumps and demo plays beautifully, as they have boost starved our Southern Miss team very easily, and if they make one good demo play, it's going to look really good for them. Now, I'm surprised Southern Miss has not managed to take a strike back by demoing any of their players. Might not have had the opportunity as Melodic goes for a shot there, cleared out by Byra, and it seems as if Southern Miss is now taking a play out of Davenport's book and boost starving them. Byra looking for that backwards clear. Zath tries to get a hit to the middle. It is almost a shot, 50'd out by Tater. Melodic gonna fake out Byra, doesn't really work as Astro goes up. Melodic gonna take a touch to the ceiling for Zath, who slots it in. A beautiful little three-man passing play there from Southern Miss. Astro to Melodic, Melodic on the ceiling, and Zath makes the beautiful read right down into that bottom left corner. 1-0 Southern Miss.
Great work from Southern Miss to open up that space and give Zath an opportunity just to put it anywhere on the net. Now, him and Melodic are going to need to work together here to continue putting shots down range. They have the ability to take teams like this down. We saw it last week. They took it to Northwood. They took it to Ball State. Two teams that are certainly much tougher than this Davenport Red squad, but that's not to take anything away from Davenport Red, as now you're going to see Byra, good reset, sends it to Tater. Nothing really there. Astro off the ceiling, not going to find anything. Para looking to just get it downfield, does just that, has no one home, just tries to put it on target, it won't go. Sent a little too far away. Melodic doing the same, but that one will be saved by Byra. His Melodic shot, though, a little bit closer to the net. Astro having a chance, gets demoed. That's going to be big for Davenport. Tater has a chance to shoot wide open net, and that is a great pass, a great shot. Davenport Red with the teamwork, going to take that goal, and now it's 1-1.
Wow, Tater barely any boost, just manages to slot that right out of Astro's reach. Beautiful plays here from Davenport. That's what we need to see from them if they want to beat this Southern Miss team. Those demos that open up those shots on net, as Tater is going to hit it to that wall to Astro. Astro manages to miss, and Byra is just going to take a quick shot. It looks like another open, but Tater barely missing. Melodic going to take Tater out. It seems as if Melodic is turning it up, looking for any demo he can to take this team out. A little bit of a pinch play there from Para and Tater. Para unable to get there before Zath is going to take it up slowly. Barely any boost. Manages to grab that boost, trying to take a low 50 as Para is dancing around this ball.
Look at how close all the Southern Miss players are. If the ball gets poked any bit above two of them, that's immediately a goal. They were so far pushed up, and now I think I'm starting to understand why Davenport Red has been able to have so much success offensively, but it doesn't matter when Zath is just slamming it into the front of your net. There was a player in goal, but I'm guessing they just couldn't get there in time. It was Tater just barely off the turn, didn't have the time. I think he even got a small touch on the ball as it went through to count as a goal. But I'm finally kind of seeing why Davenport's had success, and right there, they're going to get a kickoff goal. It's 2-2 immediately, and eventually I will be able to get to my point. My point is that I'm seeing Southern Miss, when they have the ball on offense, when they have possession, all three of them are very far pushed up past midfield. I would like to see that third man drop off a little bit. And it's again spatial awareness. I want to see that third man dropping off way further back, as Melodic showing a great example of it there, but he was also just kind of grabbing boost. But we're seeing two Southern Miss players stack basically into their corner, and then the third is pushed up in the midfield, but so close in the midfield that they can get it poked over top of them. And it's a lot of counters that are leading to the goals for Davenport. We're even seeing double commits now from Southern Miss, kind of going back to what was costing them a lot of games. Now Para has an opportunity to shoot this, doesn't have the boost to get there. So a scary situation for just a second. Southern Miss will handle it though. Now Zath off the backboard, who is there to follow it through. It's Astro sends it back home, but with 35 on the clock, there's still a tiny bit of time for Davenport to get back and find another equalizer.
Yeah, Southern Miss is going to have to look out for these kickoff goals, which it seems as if Davenport Red is really taking advantage of. I mean, it is still anyone's game. 35 seconds is a major amount of time in Rocket League terms as Zath managed to make that hit to Byra. Byra is going to take a clean air dribble right over him. That's a demo on goal. What a save from Zath there, but it's not over for Davenport. They are still managing to take the ball there as Astro demos Para, who did have the attacking play. Melodic is going to look to end this game very swiftly. Melodic hit up to Para. Davenport Red, very low boost as Melodic takes the hit off. That is a shot towards net. Tater unable to make a touch, and it looks as if it's going to be a Southern Miss win to tie up the game.
And that was two major missed opportunities for Davenport Red. They had passes directly to a player, and that player was just barely unable to connect fully with the shot, and that's what's going to end up costing them the game there. But Davenport, again, knocking on the door of taking down Southern Miss there. They had a few opportunities to even give themselves a strong lead, and they weren't able to hold on, and that could cost them here now that we're heading to a game number 3. I mean, Southern Miss were on the back foot, but now you have an evened up series, and you saw, I mean, they were struggling. They were getting a lot of great counters. Southern Miss did a good job adjusting, keeping someone into the back of that net. That's realistically what saved them in that game.
Yeah, and it seems as if Zath is going to take an early kickoff goal as it is only 2 seconds into game 3.
To me, that looked like that should have been a double demo, but it ended up not being, as Zath will get the singular demo, and that will end up costing Davenport, as otherwise it would have at least bought a little bit of time for the rest of the team to get back. But you're going to see the exact same play again. Now you're seeing Southern Miss get very demo heavy. Not something you see a lot from them, but Tater has an opportunity. That's a counter. That's a goal. And that's what I was just talking about. Counters abound for Davenport Red.
I mean, whenever you're going for demos like that, whenever you're zero boost, that's just what's going to happen. Melodic unable to read that pass there from Astro, leaving just an open net for Tater to come in, even though he had zero boost, just to slot that in to tie the game up. Now, Davenport went for a bit of a low 50 kickoff, trying to take control early on. Zath is going to go for the ball, pass to Melodic, slot in top right for Melodic. It has been, I mean, 3 goals in 13 or 23 seconds is insane.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of counters going on for Davenport, and for Southern Miss, it's just these intricate passing plays that are so far above the ground, on the wall, on the backboard, on the ceiling, that Davenport are struggling to keep up with those types of mechanical plays. And we almost just saw one from Byra by himself. Won't quite go, but the opportunity was there. Tater also giving himself a chance now. A pass play from Davenport, top left, not going to go, but at wide open net. You're not going to miss that, although I shouldn't have said that because Tater was about half an inch from slamming that crossbar and sending it into his own net.
I mean, what do you do? Both of the Southern Miss players flying to make that save, thinking it was in, but just unable to. So Davenport ends up tying it up. Oh, and also speaking about that shot there, early on shot from Byra, that would have been a beautiful little ground, or a double touch off of the ground.
Yeah, it would have been a sick shot.
It would have been.
They would be clipping that for the rest of their lives. We may have another shot here, and we do. Para, though, will get blocked. Good patience from Zath, staying home. But now there is no one home. The house has been abandoned for just a second, but they will manage to get back into it. They've found their keys. They've unlocked the door. Now can they find the other side of the apartment? But it looks like it's still going to be Davenport Red with possession, with a chance. 3:35 on the clock, and it's still anyone's game.
Yes, and it is a very interesting play. I mean, we haven't seen a goal in at least 30 seconds, which is,
not that long of a time, but at the same time, in this game specifically, that's a very long time.
Yes, which is interesting as Melodic takes a quick shot trying to beat out Byra, doesn't manage to, as Davenport ends up taking the ball. Para trying to get it over Astro. Astro just playing that aerial wall there, and Zath trying to hit it out to any anybody, Astro managed taking the ball off of Para as Melodic almost slots it in, but does not. And Tater coming out of nowhere to hit the ball away from Melodic. Now,
Yeah, Tater, look at Tater. He's chasing Melodic. That forced Melodic to team bump. Almost could have been a goal. If there's a player in position on the ball, that was absolutely a goal for Davenport. So they are continuing to just put the pressure onto Southern Miss. They're doing an incredible job of that.
as Melodic takes out Para to clear out that offensive pressure. For now, I mean, as we can see, it's not really working out as Davenport has still kept possession this entire game. Para going for another demo on Melodic, unable to hit it. Melodic and Para both fighting to demo each other, trying to clear each other out of the game as Para goes for a hit. Can he beat Astro? He cannot. And Melodic is going to take an air dribble, probably take a little bit of a redirect there as he does. Astro beating out Byra right there, who could not make any play. Tater hitting it up. Astro going to take a shot, saved by Para, and Para going to take his time over Zath and almost an open net. As I say that, Astro manages to make that save, demoed out by Byra, as Melodic does end up demoing out Tater, just trying to...
Wait, 50 into the... Oh, I thought that was in the top left corner. I was... wow. That 50 was very close, but look at that. Leaves it for Byra. Such a smart play from whoever was in the octane there. I don't know if that was Tater or Para, but it was Tater. Good job. Sees the ball. Was originally going to go for a touch across, but saw his teammate and immediately threw off. And also, I'm imagining the comms right now. That kid was probably screaming at the top of his lungs, leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it. So he would get that goal. And now Davenport with 1:30 on the clock, just 90 left to go. There's a chance Southern Miss get knocked out in a very early round.
My heart is racing. Talk about perfect plays from Davenport to get around Southern Miss. Southern Miss playing their hearts out, but Davenport is playing these bumps beautifully, managing to take Southern Miss off of the ball as Zath going for another goal. Astro just out of the top, and Melodic almost able to slot that in, but nothing so far. Zath misses the ball. Para's going to go up for this, try and pass it down, barely missing a little bit of a awkward play, but Davenport unable to make that read. We will see Zath go up for this. Southern Miss barely any boost as Melodic is 60. Para going to go for this, misses out.
2v3, but will be Tater that does send it away. Now Byra getting it over Astro, looking for a bump onto the second. Not going to get it, but it's a double commit for Southern Miss. They need to be careful with those. That has been a key for them all game to what has been leading to a lot of goals. Shot on target. Astro for the save. That is the defensive man. Now that one's flying all the way back, but it will roll. No bounce, and that's going to be a bit tough for Southern Miss to get to. Now with just 10 seconds, all Pyra has to do is keep it away. One more chance for Davenport to shoot. They're just going to send it away. Demo chase in. Melodic struggling to get around, but now has the opportunity. Last second goal, and will slam it into the back of the net. We have OT, as it will be a game 3 overtime. Southern Miss not out of this one just yet.
This has been the craziest game I've seen Southern Miss play at all. It isn't overtime. Anyone's game. I'm pretty sure it is game 3.
It is.
So anyone could win this.
And look at this. Para looking to end it right here, right now. Gets the bump, almost gets the second, but Melodic managing to save it in time. Byra, though, has Tater in the midfield. Now kind of doesn't. It's going to be a 50, and that will go Astro's way. Had every reason in the world to get that one going. Melodic takes a shot, not going to connect. Tater now sending it. Wait, that might just be there. Astro, though, didn't have boost, but did have the save. Zath is kind of here, but getting bumped all over the field. Davenport look like they're kind of struggling right now, though. Melodic is trying to get a touch. Now, it feels like they're almost kind of panicking. They're trying to play too fast. There's a lot of whiffage, and it feels like they're a bit disconnected in what they want to do. Now, USM putting the pressure on. You can't have those types of mistakes. Astro had an opportunity, not going to get through it. it though. Zath now on ball. Tater now trying to send this one away. It's a 50. Zath has it though, pops it up. Melodic, the guy that you want to see there, but it will be another save for Davenport. Southern Miss though have an opportunity to score multiple times here. It will be a bit of a misplay from Zath. Tries to get to Melodic, not there. Demo goal. Davenport Red sends USM home. Nothing to bear, as that will be just a minute 17, and Davenport pulling off the upset. Southern Miss out of CRL Open 3 very early on.
I would just like to say, I saw that demo play coming from a mile away.
And there's nothing you can do about it. That's the worst part. You know there's not a thing you can do about it, yet you want to get something, and you just know you have nowhere to go.
Yeah. I mean, Davenport played that beautifully, taking advantage of Southern Miss weakness, and man, I don't even know what to say.
I mean, it's simply the counter game. They countered Southern Miss so many times. Almost every single one of their goals came off a counter when Southern Miss had two players sitting basically at the goal line, and then their third was pushed so far ahead of midfield, they didn't give themselves an opportunity to get a lot of saves. And Astro is typically very good at that. He's a very smart player, doesn't have the mechanics, but doesn't need him when he's sitting so far back. He has the opportunity to react. He's a very reactive player, and his reactions were he was not able to react to anything because of the way he was playing. And it's not just him either. It was the entire roster playing hyper aggressive against a team like that, and Davenport exploiting the perfect mistakes out of Southern Miss. And that's going to do it for them. No points awarded, and that may just send them out of the opportunity to contend in the fall championship.
Yeah, I mean, no words. You did it. You said it perfectly. They were playing hyper aggressive, and Davenport was able to make these easy demos to slow that hyper aggression down, just to score open nets, basically.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's going to do it for us today. I saw Southern Miss Gold unfortunately lost in the previous round. So Coca-Cola going out losers round 5, Southern Miss Gold going out losers round 4. They lost in game 3 to Florida Southern. But that's going to do it for us today. A short day. Typically we're out of here by 4. Now it's 2:15. So go check out the homecoming festivities. I do see we have a DJ in the house, of course, DJ Dragon tuning in today as well. But we will catch you guys on Monday. We will have Rocket League Coca-Cola back on the stage. They have a doubleheader in Nace, but it is going to be at USM Esports on Twitter/X, at Southern Miss Esports on the rest of those platforms you see on the bottom right corner. That is going to be YouTube, here on Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, and again on Twitch. Go follow, turn those notifications on, see when we go live. But we will catch you guys back here Monday night when we have Southern Miss Rocket League Coca-Cola taking on Wichita State and Stony Brook.
Yep.
Would you like to do the outro today?
And for the outro, as always, Southern Miss
To the top. We'll catch you guys Monday.